let's be honest, we have a very limited amount of stitches that we can use for our projects. So I decided to ask AI to create some instructions for an original crochet stitch that I can try with you and see how accurate it is. And we have the Riverstone stitch that we can try today. So let's see what the AI is giving us. For the foundation chain is saying to chain an even number of chains, and I will do exactly what the AI says, which in this case is 14 chains. And so far so good. Of course, I'm making my mistakes, but so far so good. We have a good beginning. It sounds like a good instruction. We know that we need an even number of chains, and we can chain any even number of chains. I will do 14 just for the sake of the video. So here's our chain, and let's see what the first row looks like. And it says single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and in each chain across. There are some things that I don't really understand, like the turn. We're not really turning yet. I think we will have to chain before turning. Anyway, so far so good. Again, for the first row, it says that we will be left with 13 stitches at the end, which makes sense because we are skipping the first chain for our first single crochet, which is precise, and that's what we usually do with our projects. So let's just work this row of single crochet and see how it looks at the end. It will look normal, like usual. There's nothing really different so far from what we would normally do. So let's make our last few stitches and see what row 2 looks like. So here's the last one, and this is what it looks like so far. And now it says for row 2, chain 1, and then single crochet into the first stitch, and then work a PP stitch in the next stitch. The PP stitch was explained earlier, and I will show you now. It's a pebble puff stitch, which is a yarn over, insert the hook in the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop to about double crochet height, then repeat twice more in the same stitch, 7 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, and chain 1 to lock the puff closed. So we have 7 loops now. I pulled through all of them and now chain 1 to close it, and that is also pretty precise. And then it says single crochet into the next stitch across. Again, it's a bit like intuitive. You would need to continue repeating this. It doesn't say this in the instructions, so I would say that it does need a bit of attention. I know that that's what it means just because I've been crocheting for a long time, so I can intuitively think that that's what the instructions are pointing at, but it does not say to repeat this pattern and alternating the pebble puff stitches with the single crochet across. However, let's assume that we know that we need to continue with this. It does say that the row will end with a single crochet, and let's see if that's true, just because I want to understand if the instructions on the number of initial chains and the following rows is coherent. So this is our, not the last pebble puff stitch. Let's just work our way across and see if we actually end up working a single crochet into the last stitch. So this is the single crochet. Now another pebble puff stitch, and we have our 7 loops. Pull through all of them, chain 1, and yes, we are ending our row on a single crochet stitch. So again, let's say not that good, not as good as the first ones, but still understandable. This is how it should look like on the right side, where the pebble puff stitches are popping up. And let's see what the third row looks like. So for the third row, it says chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch across, working a normal single crochet into the top of each puff. Well, this is again not really very precise because, again, I've been crocheting for a long time, so I know that this means that we need to single crochet in every single stitch, but it does not say that specifically. Um, it should be saying that we should single crochet into all the stitches, so both into the top of the pebble puff stitches and into the single crochet stitches that we have from the row below. It does not say that, but again, it does require a bit of intuition. So if you've been crocheting for some time, I think it's pretty doable to understand what it means. But let's see what the next row is about. So this is how it looks like so far. And for the fourth row, it says chain 1 and single crochet in the first 2 stitches this time. Then the pebble puff in the next stitch, then single crochet in the next stitch across to the last stitch, single crochet in last stitch. So I wouldn't say this is understandable. What I'm doing is just alternating as we did in the row with the pebble puffs before. I assume that the difference here was to start with 2 single crochets and end with 2 single crochet, just because we want the pattern once we do more rows to be alternated. So not for the puff stitches to be aligned, but for them to be kind of, in between each other. So again, this is really the first row that is quite unclear. But again, I think that if you've been crocheting for some time, you can understand what that means. But I wouldn't say it's a good way to give instructions for this row. So we're ending this row with 2 single crochets again, even if it doesn't say that, but that's how we started it, so that's how we will end it. And this is how it's looking like. The puff stitches are alternated in between rows. So now it's a repeat for row 5. It's a repeat of row 3, so it's a repeat of the single crochet row, and again, it doesn't say it, but it's the repeat of the row with 1 single crochet on top of each of the stitches that we did in the row below. So in our case is that means a single crochet in each single crochet and in the top of each of the pebble puff stitches that we did in the row below. And that was it. Those were the instructions that we got for this river stone stitch. I would give it maybe a 6. It depends on if you're a beginner or not, but I do think AI can be a good idea for some new stitches that we can try. I will continue this series, but let me know if you liked